This is the Super Morning Show right here on ELBC. And this morning we have in studio with us Mr. Hady. Hady is the Director of Energy, and he leads the MCAL Energy Project implementation at the Millennium Challenge Account-Liberia. Good morning, Hady.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, so we're going sharp into it. What is this compact energy project all about?
Well, the Liberia Compact. The Liberia Compact. This is a development program, an agreement that was signed between the U.S. government, represented by the Millennium Challenge Corporation, and the government of Liberia. So this Liberia Compact is geared towards addressing key constraints to economic growth. There was a constraint analysis that was conducted some time ago in 2015, and two key constraints were identified. One is the lack of road maintenance, and two is the lack of access to affordable electricity. So based upon those two key constraints that are affecting economic growth, the Liberia Compact program or project were developed. Under this project, the Liberia Compact, we have two key projects, the roads project and the energy project. And we're going to be talking a bit on the energy project. And the energy project actually has four key activities. The four key activities include the Mancoffey rehabilitation activity, which is largely to help join other donors, because the MCC came in as the latest donor to the Mancoffey rehabilitation support, is to increase the generation capacity of the Mancoffey hydropower plant from 66 megawatt to 88 megawatt. And under the same Mancoffey rehabilitation activity, the MCC support through the MCAL, Millennium Challenge Account-Liberia, is to also construct the transmission line from, that's a second circuit, 66 kV transmission line from Mancoffey to the Pinsville substation. And the third other sub-activity of the Mancoffey rehabilitation activity is to rehabilitate the water pipeline from Mancoffey to White Plains, the raw water transmission line. So those are three key activities, sub-activities under the Mancoffey rehabilitation activity that the MCC is funding through the Millennium Challenge Account-Liberia.
Oh, these are very key. Construct the water line, and then
rehabilitate
the water line, and you have to construct the transmission line from the
Mancoffey to Pinsville.
Have you started that already?
The process is already started. The construction of the transmission line from Mancoffey to Pinsville, that has started, obviously. And
how far have you gone?
Well,
50%, 90%.
Well, I would say close to 50%. You understand? And that is actually well underway from Mancoffey to the substation.
How long is it expected to last for the project to come to a conclusion?
Well, our compact has a time frame, and the time for our compact is 5 years. We've gone 3 years now, so by January 2021, our compact will expire.
So by that time, you should have completed.
Of course, definitely should have completed all of those. All right.
So what about the construction of the water?
The water pipeline. The procurement process has just started. I mean, in terms of developing the TOR, to be able to procure a consultant or contractor that would do the engineering design, for the raw water transmission line, the water pipeline. All right. The second activity is the Mancoffey support activity. That is largely mainly to mitigate environmental and other social issues that will be created as a result of the heavy industrial activity taking place, at the Mancoffey. Maybe in terms of support activity, it's mainly environmental and social mitigation.
Okay.
All right, especially for project-affected communities, affecting project-affected people, so that livelihood activities, livelihood programs can be developed to increase, to build the capacity of these people and help them with income generating activity, livelihood activities and things, because they've been affected by the
so it's obvious that
project.
communities will be affected by your projects, right?
Yes, some communities, if for areas where maybe there will be a need for resettlement, the resettlement also took place.
Okay, tell us a little bit about this compact energy project. What is it about the support for standing up of the independent regulator? So I want to talk about this the training you're doing, the LEC training you're doing.
Okay. Those are two key activities. One, the LEC training center activity. That's the third activity of the Mankofi of our Liberia Compact. That is mainly to improve the technical, administrative, financial, and managerial capacity of LEC. Okay, so this LEC training center will be a kind of a core base for training of local technicians that will help to efficiently maintain, okay, the infrastructure, at least for sustainability. You see, with most of these investments in the infrastructure there, you must have competent local technicians that will be able to efficiently operate and maintain that, to sustain the operations of the utility. So what we're doing actually is to help support the establishment of a training center at LEC. Okay, a training center at LEC. And that process, actually, what we are on now is the program design. To design the program in terms of the scope, in terms of curriculum development, all right.
That's what you've achieved so far on the
that is what is ongoing at this stage.
Okay.
To design the program, okay, in terms of the scope, in terms of the curriculum development, all right, because even with the curriculum development and scope, you have to conduct what we call a training needs analysis to be able to know what the training needs are at the LEC. All right.
How many Liberians are expected to benefit from this training?
Well, we talk about LEC, first and foremost, is going to be a kind of an enterprise-centered training center, all right? But this will also be linked to the BWI, because to the BWI being a kind of a TVET institution where they train also electricians and local technicians, all right? And BWI is being seen as a kind of a feeder or a breeding ground for local technicians that LEC could absorb some of them, you understand, to train them to suit LEC needs as well. And so therefore there could be some minimal support to the BWI in terms of maybe helping them to improve their curriculum, maybe helping them to train some of the trainers that they have as well, at least to be able to make sure that the graduates of BWI will have that acceptable standard, you understand, and think that, or skills that LEC will be able to absorb. And the remaining of them could also, fit into the private sector, generally to suit the private sector needs.
Well, we don't have much time, so I'm going to ask you this question. What are the challenges? Because all of these projects you're undertaking, I'm sure you've got challenges. So tell us about that.
Well, maybe I would want to just change that instead of challenges to what are the critical success factors, more or less, like critical success factors.
Critical
all right?
Success. Okay,
yeah.
Whatever
okay.
word.
We need a high-level political support. That high-level political support in terms of support the continued commitment of the government to our Liberia Compact, all right, to the Liberia Compact, continued support of the government. One of the first thing is the implementation of the electricity law, all right. So the electricity law, the passage of that electricity law was a condition precedent to signing of our compact. So what we expect is a continuation, all right, of the commitment of the government of Liberia to support these compact activities, with various stakeholders, various key government actors.
You?
The government is supporting. The government is supporting. We'll talk about continuation of the commitment, because we'll talk about continued political support or political commitment to the process.
Are you sensing anything?
No, we are not sensing anything at this stage, all right? But we want to make sure that in project management, sometimes you have to actually look at what could be, some of the factors that could tend to stall your process, or that could tend to undermine your process and things. So a critical success factor here is high-level political support. That's one. And two, we talk about capacity building, all right, especially local human resource capacity, financial resources. That is another one. And efficient coordination in the sector. Efficient coordination in the sector, especially when the electricity law has been passed and you have a national energy policy. So to be able to implement these reforms, all right, to be able to implement these reforms in the sector, you need efficient power sector reform coordination, because the electricity law mentioned timelines to implement these reforms. And some of the reforms will go to the Ministry of Mines and Energy. Some of these reforms we're talking about with the independent regulator, the LERC, and some of the reform also go towards the LEC, especially with the management services contract.
Okay, so Mr. Hady, I will have to leave you at that now. So any final comment?
The final comment I could just say is that we need support from the government. We need more support from the government, from the project beneficiaries, from key actors, sector actors, especially from the ministry, from the LEC as well, and also from the LERC and other key government agencies that are part of this group, especially when it comes to stakeholders group, within the energy sector. All right. So that is one aspect of it. The other aspect is to make sure that we have that continued power sector coordination within this energy sector of Liberia, to make sure that at least the sector will realize the kind of attention that donors continue to give in the sector.
Thank you so much. The Director of Energy at the Millennium Challenge Compact Liberia, Mr. Hady Sherif. Thanks for talking to us a little bit this morning. I hope we can talk more about this in the coming week, because you've got lots and lots of projects coming up in